welcome to another edition of Reef Talk every Sunday. I'm Steve from RotterTube Reef, and then we have
Scott from Mile High Reefers, and we have
Mike from 915 Mang on YouTube.
Now check this out. You guys can look at this when you go into the reef store. I'm sure many of you have already noticed, but for the newcomers to the saltwater aquarium hobby, I went to a new reef store recently. I didn't know they were only about 8 minutes from me. Really small place, and they don't sell anything but fish. It's where I got my Nassau. And they have the tanks right just all around the perimeter of this large, medium-sized room, and you could see that every single tank was connected by PVC lines. All the PVCs were connected. It's just how it works. So if they had 40 tanks and tank number 5 was infected, they're all infected with it. So that's why you need to quarantine.
When you do go look around at your LFS and stores, don't get your stuff from Petco.
yeah.
Also, at the LFSs, make sure they have a large UV sterilizer. I'm lucky. Some of my the ones that I like to go to, they have a gigantic UV, and they do have all their fish plumbed in together. So that's one thing that I'm always looking for. And then I ask them, do you medicate the fish tanks? Another LFS that I have, he has the sponge filters on, I guess the Aquarium or whatever hang on the back filter, but those ones aren't connected. So that's also pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you did a video, Mike, a little while back about Petco and their saltwater fish, and their saltwater fish are just abysmal on your video. And I hate to say it, my local Petco is exactly the same. Their fish are always infested with ick, and I refuse to buy a fish there. Steve, have you been to your local Petco, or do they have one in your area?
Yeah, they do. And, I didn't know they have saltwater fish. I did not. I saw their freshwater. Maybe mine don't carry it, but I did not know that Petco carries saltwater fish. But I wouldn't buy from them.
No.
But, I used to buy when I was in freshwater, my freshwater fish from them. But what's even worse than that, I'd have to say maybe Walmart. They have the fish section there. Oh,
yeah,
so
they got rid of their
terrible.
fish section at my Walmart. It's gone now.
The freshwater fish was just... I felt bad for those
guys. That's where my
guys.
first fish tank came from, Walmart.
Walmart. So, whatever. But no, I mean, unfortunately, I would think, and it's true just by going in and looking like Petco for an example, like Mike, your video showed. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would never, yeah, me too. And I would never buy a fish from them because you would think you get what you pay for. It's Petco. I mean, yes, it's pet supplies, but I wouldn't buy a fish from there. I'd go to like a reef store. Not saying that all the reef stores are the best or really good, but I would just tend to think that Petco's not the best. I mean, you could be wrong. You could get a nice fish there, but I don't think so. Whatever.
The prices on the fish at my local pet store are not better than my local reef stores, and their fish are terrible. Everything has ick. And I mean, some of the stuff are nice fish. It's like blue tangs. I know, Mike, you showed a clown trigger, and
Covered.
yeah, they're expensive fish there too. They're asking a lot of money for these fish, and they look like absolute crap.
That is so bad. I don't know where they get them from.
Well, I don't think it's where they get them from. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's the people who work at Petco and the way Petco has their systems designed.
Yeah.
They do an absolutely horrible job managing their systems.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, Petco, if you want to fix it, hire me.
My theory was that we get our stuff overnighted. They probably throw their crap in back of a 18-wheeler, so their care is not there.
For a little while, my local Petco had a guy working there. He was actually a real fish guy. I don't know how they found a real fish guy to work at Petco, but he actually split their systems up for them so that they had their invertebrates away from their fish, and then they were actually treating the tanks with medication when they were having problems. And for the brief period of time that this guy worked there, they had decent looking fish. Now, I still didn't buy anything because I didn't trust the systems. But while that guy was there, everything was 100 times better than before he was there or what they have now. So I think a lot of it's just they don't have real fish guys. Their corporate policies suck. Their system design doesn't look like it's all that good. From what I've seen, it all kind of filters down into one system, kind of like the system you were talking about, Steve, where if one gets it, everything gets it. And I think that's a big problem.
Oh, yeah. It's expensive to have separate systems if you're going to do it right. Petco's certainly not going to be that way. Most reef stores aren't going to be that way. But, even if they were, if there was like a separate skimmer and a separate UV and a separate tank for every fish, you could still pick a fish from one of those separate tanks that has ick on it,
But
it's
I find that
less of a chance.
I find that unacceptable. Petco has loads of cash.
I know.
This is a huge company. They have the money to do it right. I mean, they can do it right. There's no reason they can't.
I don't think
Also,
they care.
Hell, for
Live
$100,000 a year,
aquarium-
they can hire me, and I'll fix all of them in the country. I mean, it's not like it's going to be expensive.
Right. Well,
And they have the stuff they need sitting on their store shelves to do it.
you're right. They just aren't going to spend that kind of money.
It's not expensive. I mean, the stuff they have is right there. It's the crap they're selling us.
I know.
It's all there on their shelves.
I think they want to focus more on the dogs, and the fish are going to come in as a.
Well, then they shouldn't be selling saltwater.
Yeah,
if
right.
that's their attitude, they need to shut down their saltwater.
Yeah,
too.
right. And just sell goldfish and call it a day. I would think. Mike, what were you going to say?
I was saying that I think Live Aquaria got bought out by Petco also. 'Cause I
Yeah,
remember they used to have
really?
it-
Incredibly disappointing. Yeah.
Well, I've never bought a fish online, and I never will, so that doesn't affect me. But
The corals?
that's odd.
The corals I've bought from Live Aquaria I haven't been
Oh, yeah, I remember
impressed
your
with.
video.
Yeah, the corals I haven't been impressed with. They always get the orders wrong on that. Their cleanup crews I've been very impressed with, and every fish I've brought from them has been good. But as far as corals, I won't buy coral from Live Aquaria. And now that Petco owns them, holy crap.
Yeah.
As soon as their management gets time to make the changes that they're obviously going to make.
I ordered a couple corals from them once online, and I didn't get corals. I got a stick in a bag. It looked like a tree branch. And then I called them, and they rectified it. They sent me another one. It was a Duncan, and it was another stick with one little tentacle sticking out of it. It wasn't even a Duncan again. I'm not slamming anybody. I'm just saying what I got.
Well, no, these guys need to be slammed because they're big companies. And
So
they
I
have the
don't.
ability to do
I'm
it.
not gonna. And the water smelled really bad. It smelled like really like kind of sour. Ugh, I'm not. No, I'm not doing this again. So anyway.
I mean, if they're gonna sell living creatures, they need to do them correctly, like living creatures. So I'm happy to slam somebody who doesn't do that.
Yeah. So I don't want to do it, but I'm just telling you my experience. Mike, did you ever buy a fish from Petco?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was thinking about if I would have my quarantine tank set up to try to rescue that hippo
Exactly.
tank.
Yeah. I was gonna say it would be tempting to say I want to save that guy and just do the best you can because you feel bad for him.
Right, but then it's a continuation of the problem. Petco's like, hey, these guys are selling. Let's get
Yeah.
more.
Right. Yeah.
But Mike, you told us you had some good fish stores in your area. What are they like?
They're pretty good.
I've seen that one you went to, that huge
Saltwater
one.
Heaven,
Yeah.
sea creatures. I'm gonna try to go to sea creatures. I want to take more videos of the LFSs for you guys. Just because I like to see other people's LFS.
Yeah.
CJ's, the one in Kentucky.
That one is
That looks
awesome.
awesome.
That jump tank was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Freaking.
When I win Powerball.
I wouldn't get that tang, man. Even if you gave it to me, I don't think I'd have it. I'd be so terrified. It's a lot of damn money to put that thing in a quarantine if something doesn't go right, or even if it's totally fine and you put it in your display, man, it nope.
Yeah, but if you had Powerball money, who cares?
Yeah, Powerball.
I guess. It's just so, yeah, but still, well, I didn't know until I saw CJ's video that they're endangered, right? Like there's
They
not many?
are. They are, well, I don't know if they're endangered, but they're incredibly rare. They're off a small island near Madagascar. I don't remember the exact name of it, but the country severely limits how many of them can be sold, which is actually really good because it kind of keeps populations available. And then it helps the people harvesting them because they're getting insane money for these fish. So I think it's kind of a win-win for everybody except those guys like me who want one.
Yeah.
On the flip side with that, though, I don't know if everybody saw this, but they have successfully bred and raised yellow tangs in captivity.
Oh yeah.
So my guess is if they can breed and raise yellow tangs in captivity, why can't they do purples and gem tangs? I mean, I could see 20 years from now going to the reef store and picking up and trying to decide, do I want the gem tang or the purple tang or the yellow tang? They're all about $60. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that seems really possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of LFSs, I'd like to see some of your guys's. I know you guys got quite a few in Denver, right?
Yeah, Denver's got a lot. I'm a little north of Denver, about 50 miles. I'm up in Greeley. Most of what I shop is the Greeley, Fort Collins area, and I've got about 4 that I go to quite a bit. But I am hitting reef stock next week, so I might hit some of the LFSs depending on kind of the time that ends up and stuff.
You're gonna film for that, right?
Yeah, I'll be filming reef
All right,
stock.
great. I'll be in the Chicago one in November, if it's coming back in November. I was gonna go this year, and I just didn't. I'm like, I got busy with stuff. But I'll be in Chicago, in Chicago's in November because it's like not far from me at all. So that'd be great. What was I gonna say? You guys brought up a point. We're at 38 minutes now, so we'll wrap it up in a minute.
Do you want to just split this one, make it 2 episodes?
Sure. Okay. So there you go, guys. 2 episodes. What was I going to say? Oh, I've been meaning to film a couple of the places I go to. One of my favorite ones. It's just been difficult with the holidays and getting time on their schedule for me to come in and film. But I've been trying to do that. I want to show you guys what it looks like. It's not as like nice, extravagant, and really cool as CJ's or even the one that you showed, Mike. I like the one you were showing. I can't remember the name of it. It was a video a little while ago. You were talking in your car. You were filming the expressway. It was a really nice shop. And
Saltwater Head.
Oh, yeah, that place was cool. The place I go to is like really small, not as polished, but man, those guys have tons of experience, killer deals, and they're always there for you, and their fish are really healthy. It's where I've got most of my fish, which is why I went a little out of control with my aquarium. God, I have too many fish in there, and I bought a Nassau that's going in there. It's, God, can you fit any more fish in there? Nope. But I bought
the biggest one you can find.
I bought a bigger one, right? Like an idiot. And I almost don't want to give people the list of the fish that I have in my 125 because it's too many. I realize that. But whatever. That's why I upgraded my skimmer. I'm going to put him in. That whole tang police thing, who cares? If you clean your tank and you have enough swimming room for them. See, that's why I don't have as much rock as Scott, because I like to keep a lot of swimming space. And Mike, that's why I've got that Marine Pure. I have very little rock.
That's that brick, right?
It's the brick, yep. And that's in my sump. And I keep very little rock, so it's more artsy, and it gives the guys a lot more swimming space. My rock is only maybe 6 inches tall at the highest mark, maybe 8 inches. The rest of it's maybe 2 inches, 3 inches off the sand. So they've got a lot of swimming space. My tank isn't tall, and it's 6 feet wide. So they love it. It doesn't mean you can cram a lot of fish in. You shouldn't, but I did. And I shouldn't have bought that Nassau, but whatever. Maybe someday when I get more money, I'll get an 8-foot wide, long, 240 gallon. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm kind of depressed by my local LFS scene right now. I got one store that doesn't quarantine and they can't figure out prices. I went in there on Super Bowl Sunday to buy a beautiful sail tang, and the thing is huge. It was 6 inches or so. Guy says he's $50. My wife's like, no, you can't buy him. Your quarantine's not ready. Go home and get the quarantine ready. And then once the quarantine's ready, you can come back and get him. Well, of course, I don't have the quarantine ready for 2 days. Then when I go back, oh, no, he's not $50. And By the way, there was a 20% discount with a coupon on that guy, which made him $40. So no, when I go back, he's $89.
What?
Yeah, seriously. But they don't have prices listed on anything. You walk in, you talk to the guy, he pulls out a sheet. Yep, $49.99. Cool, I'll take it. No, you can't have him. And then, of course, by the time I go back, he's $89. But this is how they are with all their pricing. It's incredibly frustrating.
Maybe go back a third day. It'll be like $11.99.
Probably be like $3.44 or something stupid.
Yeah, see, that's the thing I don't like.
Yeah, if you're in this, please price your fish so we can just look at the price and see what it is and not guess every time we go in.
Do you see that too, Mike? Do you have?
Actually, I've seen that at some fish stores, but those are the ones I don't go back to. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then of course we got some others in Fort Collins. One store, they started off like as a really incredibly nice store. They had awesome products and they were cheap. So all their corals, all their fish, they were like really well priced. Well, lately the prices have gone way up and the quality's gone way down. So that depresses me, right? I'm sure they're trying to maximize profits and everything, but if you're going to charge me a lot of money, I want the best quality I can get. That's my requirement for spending a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And then we've got another store which is really hit or miss as to how good the quality of the stuff is in there. Sometimes it looks great, other times it looks like crap. And then there's one more that's usually got pretty good stuff, but they're kind of pricey. But as far as quality, they're probably on the higher end. At least they'll have like really large high quality stuff in there. Like I've seen really big vermingis in there and show holes tangs and just smaller sharks and all that kind of stuff. There's really high end stuff. You don't see it a lot of stuff, so that's pretty cool there.
There's one place that has like things like eels, not many, and a couple little sharks, but other than that, nothing too exotic. Just kind of like your standard yellow tang, blue tang, chromie, stuff like that. This new one that I just discovered, though, like I told you guys, it's really a small shop, like in a strip mall, like half the size of a 7-Eleven, and you walk in and it's kind of looks like a 7-Eleven. Yeah, it's like, oh. But the fish are really good, and that's where I got my Nassau from. And I picked the best looking one out of like the 7 or 8 that they had in the tank together. So yeah, and they had some like cool fish, and they get them from Hawaii. He said he had another shipment coming in. He had a bunch of purple tangs. He had 4 of them, and they all sold within 2 days' time.
Wow.
He said they were gorgeous, and I was tempted, but no, I'm not going to tempt it. I'm getting a fish that looks kind of the same because I've got the yellow tang. I've got the yellow-eyed coal tang. All right, I'll give you
the sail fin.
All right, I'll give you the list so the haters out there can hate. This is what I have in my 125. Idiot. Okay. Oh man. So I've got a yellow Watchman goby. He's tiny. He doesn't count. Then I have a sand sifter. He's tiny. He doesn't count. Then I have a fire shrimp. Okay. Now the fish. I have yellow tang, yellow eye coal tang, fox face, fowlery tang. It's a big guy. A Nassau tang is going in. He's a big guy. And a sailfin. He's going to be going in. Idiot. And 125 gallon. So I'll let you know, you guys, how it works out.